All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Free agency is firing away, and I don't know when you're going to get this because, to be honest with you, I've been trying to upload to YouTube all day, and everything is slow. My video isn't even going to get out in time, so you're probably seeing this after the fact, but Puna Ford is a Ram. A lot of you wanted him. He was my fourth option on my defensive line board in free agency. Unfortunately, I do think this means the end for Bobby Brown in LA, which is really disappointing. I'm a big fan of him, not just as a player, but also as a person. He's a friend of mine. But Puna Ford is a very, very good player. And obviously this business, it's brutal. It is. I mean, we're talking about Cooper Kupp not being on this team this year. Very brutal. You have a 5'11", 310-pound nose tackle, 5th overall rated PFF IDL, 7th in run defense among all interior defensive linemen, 26th in pass rush. He had 23 pressures this past year, had career highs in sacks, quarterback hits, and TFLs. He takes a 3-year deal from the Rams. It's going to be worth up to $29.6 million. We don't know the details on that, but he's got $17 million guaranteed. Ford faced double teams, according to ESPN, 17th most in the NFL at a 62.1% clip, and he was 21st in win rate, according to ESPN. He's 29 years old. Again, I said he was my fourth option, just behind B.J. Hill, Levi Onwuzurike, and of course Bobby Brown, who I felt made the most sense. But Ford has emerged as one of the top interior run defenders and nose tackles in the game. He was a big reason why the Chargers allowed fewer than 18 points per game, and they were a dominant defense. This is a significant add, I think, for the Rams, because let's just assume for a second that you were going to lose Bobby Brown. You go out, you get Puna Ford. This plugs that gap. I'm not looking at this as so much of an upgrade as much as I am, if Bobby Brown got away, you need to fill this role. And so, I have, mixed feelings about moving on from a 25-year-old interior defensive lineman. But on the flip side of this, especially homegrown, but on the flip side of this, I think Puna Ford has just really gotten better and better over the course of his career. He can get off his blocks, but he can also, sustain double teams, which is going to be huge for guys like Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner to really eat in this defense. Again, on the flip side of this, Bobby Brown won a Super Bowl first year, developing into an integral part of this Rams defense. You probably don't go to the playoffs without his stop on 4th down against the Seahawks in Seattle. Again, still only 24 years old. That stings. This is a 3-year deal for Puna. Looking at the details here, $17 million guaranteed. I'd have to imagine this is probably a 2-year deal with the potential to be a 3-year deal, but very, very limited guarantees in his 3rd year, if any. Look, this isn't exactly how I wanted it to go down. Obviously, would have loved to see Bobby Brown back. But I'm not going to sit here because I know you guys are watching this and wondering, who is this guy, or if you're happy, whatever. Puna Ford's a really, really good player. And, we just talked about, he's one of the highest rated players on the Rams currently as of 2024. So when you look at who they're adding here and you look at the Saquon Barkley runs that they were giving up, and that has been the talk. I don't have to tell you this, but you've seen Brenda Song come out, who's a huge Rams fan. By the way, she's in this new Netflix show, Running Point, with Kate Hudson. Recommend. But Brenda Song, had that viral interview where she said, the Rams need a run defense and they need to add more into their interior. I do think that she was also talking about linebackers, so that remains to be seen. But I'll tell you right now, I don't necessarily agree that, their run game or their run defense rather, was horrible. Okay. I think that they had some moments, and I think a lot of that falls on the linebackers, but I have to defend Bobby Brown here. He's very good at defending the run. I think what it comes down to is I think Bobby wanted, more of an opportunity to rush the passer, and rightfully so. He did it at Texas A&M. But the Rams really weren't going to give him that opportunity, I don't think. And, I don't know if they're going to give Poona that opportunity. It's weird having Poona and Puka. I assume, I don't know. I mean, what's the over-under on how many times people are going to say Poona Matata, right? I feel like that's going to be a common thing. But, with that said, though, all jokes aside, I just wanted to make it clear that I don't necessarily think that interior defensive line, if you just brought back Bobby Brown, needed to be upgraded or anything like that. I think really right now, it's the linebacker position because you have Omar Speights, who I love. You got to add another guy. I don't think it's just you're okay just bringing back Christian Roseboom. I mean, I like him. I'd like him back on the right price, at the right price, but I think you got to go out. You got to get Dre Greenlaw. I think he makes the most sense at this point, but that's not what this video is for. So Twitter is going absolutely crazy. It keeps getting hacked or whatever. So it's been hard to follow the news, and YouTube, it's been hard to upload. So of all days, pick the free agency, the NFL free agency day to have all these issues. But in conclusion, Puna Ford is a Ram. He is going to be huge for this team. He, Kobe Turner, Tyler Davis, Braden Fisk, Desjuan Johnson. There's probably going to be other guys. They could add Neville Gallimore back. They could bring back Bobby Brown. We'll see. But I feel really good about the direction the Rams are going in this free agency. Again, it's bittersweet because I would have loved Bobby to be here, but I'm not going to sit here and say that Puna Ford is a bad player because I didn't get the player I wanted to return. Poona is still a very, very good player. He's my fourth option for a reason. And albeit he's 29 years of age, it's not really going to matter if he doesn't play out the rest of his deal. So if it's a 2-year deal, won't be a big deal. And by the way, they don't care about age right now. They are trying to win a Super Bowl. And if they feel like this is the best way, then, that's on them. That, they believe that. I think they're going in the right direction right now. I like, that, they brought back Jimmy G. I think he makes a lot of sense. I'm liking overall what they're doing. So, that's where we stand right now. Essentially, we'll see how things go the rest of the way. But I think when it's all said and done, I think the Rams are going to have a team at the end of free agency in the draft that rivals the Eagles as the best team in the sport. And I really believe that. So hopefully they keep this train rolling. My next ask is just go out and bring back Akello. There's a lot of corners getting signed. I want nothing to do with overpaying a corner that gave up 71% of his targets, okay? And you can figure out who I'm talking about. So, again, that's that. Puna Ford is a Ram, and he is going to be huge in the interior. My last thing here, I wish Bobby, if he is done with the Rams and the Rams are done with him, that's kind of a weird way to say it. But if they're both moving on, I wish him all the best. Would love to see him back, but I'm a realist. When I found out Puna Ford was signing with the Rams to stay in LA, because he is just staying in SoFi, he was on the Chargers, it was clear to me the direction the Rams were going in. As I've done this content thing for a while now, I've realized you can't get overly emotional, and you also can't assume anything. Like when Devontae Adams was signed, I saw graphics with Cooper Kupp in them. Cooper Kupp is gone. I've seen this movie before. When the Rams got Allen Robinson, I fell for that. I thought he was going to go with Robert Woods. That was the mistake. I'm not going to say that they would have been much better. That season they were injured all year, but no. Turns out they were going to trade Robert Woods away for a bag of peanuts. So, that's what I would say about that is just, when you assume that you know something, you don't always do. And just like when I'm making projections, they're projections. My mock off season or free agency or whatever, projections. The Rams might not trade away Colby Parkinson. They might not trade away Kupp. They might just end up cutting him. They might not cut Darius Williams. They might just keep him. Like, that's what we're talking about, is that, again, I have some knowledge of what's going on, but I can't read into everything. I don't have ears in every room, and I will miss on some things. And so, that's something to keep in mind. Take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, you know, we can throw some stuff out there and we could be right every now and then. Very happy to be right about Davante Adams, even if I was nowhere near right on the contract. But again, good player here, Puna Ford. We'll see what the cap ultimately looks like, the cap hit in 2025, but that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, folks. Later. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the nine. So definitely check it out over on The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.